Peshawar, a sprawling and chaotic city of 3.8 million people, lies in a conservative region of Pakistan, close to the Afghan border, has long since been plagued with sectarian violence toward the religious minorities there. Easily recognized because of their colorful turbans, members of Pakistan's Sikh community say they are singled out and attacked increasingly in the South Asian nation where the Muslim majority sees them as infidels. Their plight highlights the intolerance where Sikhs, among other religious minorities, live in a hostile world where every stranger is a possible attacker. Amarjit Singh, a pharmacist in the predominantly Sikh area of the city, where approximately 40,000 of them live, are in fear of their lives. Every time someone walks into his pharmacy, he prepares for the worst. I don't know if it's a customer or an assailant who is reaching for his gun. Last month, Harjit Singh, another Sikh shopkeeper, was shot dead at his herbal medicine shop in what has been an increase in violence over the last year toward them. Amarjit said the community was so afraid that most people stopped showing up for prayers in the traditional Sikh place of worship, the Gurdwara. Around 60% of our shops are closed due to security concerns, he said. Many parents are not sending their children to schools because the boys are easy targets. Another shopkeeper that had closed his business out of fear has wondered where are the so-called moderates to defend them from these so-called radicals. It seems they are allowing this to happen as if it follows their teachings. Sardan Shardanit Singh, a Sikh elder, said, "People are just very frightened. It's a time of sorrow for us." This is the Jewish year 5775, which is a sabbatical year, when according to the Bible, the land of Israel is supposed to lie fallow. Called a Shemitah year in Hebrew, the sabbatical is intended to allow the poor to reap whatever may still be growing on the land, so that the poor of your people may eat. Exodus 23:11. The start of the sabbatical year prohibitions, which include sowing, planting, pruning, reaping, harvesting, and improving the land, coincided with the start of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, that began this year on September 24th. Today, most Israeli Jews observe Shemitah via a legal loophole endorsed by the chief rabbinate called Heter Mekira. It permits farmers to sell their land temporarily to non-Jews who aren't bound by Shemitah. For most people, this arrangement results in little, if any, inconvenience, but hundreds of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews, both in and out of Israel, don't hold by the loophole, making the Shemitah year a challenge, not only for them, but for the many institutions from hospitals to soup kitchens that serve members of the very religious public. Recently, leaders in the Israel Defense Force IDF, one of the largest public institutions in Israel, had to decide whether to purchase fruits and vegetables from Israeli farmers this year, as it has always done, or to obtain the produce from abroad. The majority of the farms that donate food to Laket, Israel's national food bank and the country's largest food rescue network, abide by Heter Mekira. That means it will accept Israeli cultivated crops. Even so, shortages are anticipated. While many Israelis consider Shemitah little more than the imposition of an archaic law by the religious establishment, some have embraced the commandment's emphasis on renewal and social equality. The biblical laws require forgiveness of debts and release of indentured servants. Religious Jewish teens are far less likely to attempt suicide than their secular Jewish counterparts. A new study finds, bolstering previous studies among other religious groups, that suggests faith may offer some protection against suicide. Researchers in Israel found that of the 620 teens studied, the most religious among them were 45% less likely to try to kill themselves or exhibit suicidal behavior than the less religious. We know from working with suicide survivors that even when they were 99% sure they were going to kill themselves, they still sought hope, said study co-author Gal Shoval of Tel Aviv University's Sackler School of Medicine. Jewish faith and community may be their most important source of hope. The Israeli study, which will be published in an upcoming issue of the journal European Psychiatry, backs previous research which focused on Christian adults and strongly suggests that religion protects against suicide. Those studies also showed that people who demonstrate an extrinsic spirituality, regular church attendance, for examples, are less likely to consider suicide than those whose spirituality is more intrinsic, i.e., a private religious devotion. The idea that people of faith are less likely to want to kill themselves was first put forth by Emil Durkheim, the founder of sociology, who wrote Suicide in 1897. In the book, Durkheim explored suicide within a cultural context, investigated varying suicide rates among Protestants and Catholics, and concluded that stronger social control within Catholic circles resulted in lower suicide rates.